I am just about to head out and take a bunch of crochet items to the county fair. I'm a little nervous. I have never done this before, but I would love it if you would come along with me. Okay, so we just got out of there. I did not film anything in there because it was full of people and I was like nervous. They weren't crowding me, but it felt like they were crowding me, and it was hot and I had to write all this stuff down. There was a table that did have a few crochet projects on it, and it looked like a velvet pumpkin, and I was tempted to add a pumpkin for a holiday item, but didn't. And then there was an amigurumi doll. So that is definitely a big project. So I don't know if that's someone new that entered this year compared to last year, but judging starts in a few hours, so we might end up coming back. So I thought I would take this time to really just fill you in case you haven't seen any of my other county fair related videos where I've gone over some of my different projects. What I wanted to let you know is that, every fair, of course, is going to be different from each other. Every county has their own rules. It's probably different in other states, and they're all going to be kind of at different times in the year as well. So this is the open class, meaning you don't have to be a kid in 4-H. If you're not rural, you probably don't know what that is. But it's one of those things where you can be a kid or a teenager or an adult, but you can just enter in, and yeah, it's just a contest. You might get a ribbon and $1, or I think the best in show ribbon is $5. So it's not like a monetary type thing. The reason I wanted to do this is because when I went last year, only one person had entered either crochet or knit, and I'm just crochet here, but it was just one woman. And I thought she was very, very good. Her stuff was very, very talented. It looked like she had probably been crocheting a very long time. And to be honest, she could probably blow me out of the water. But I just wanted there to be more at the fair. And I wanted other people to see that they could definitely enter stuff too. So that's my main motivation. If I win any ribbons, that's just, icing on the cake for me. You can enter 2 items per category. I don't know how many categories I entered off the top of my head, but I had 13 items. In a prior video, a viewer had commented that her fair charges $20 per entry. My fair is only $1, so it was pretty affordable. I spent $13. We did just leave the exhibition hall, and it takes us about 20 minutes to get. We're all in the same county. It's about a 15,000 person county, and there's several very small towns in that. It takes us about 20 minutes to get to the county seat, which is where the fairgrounds are, and it is later afternoon, early evening. We got there, and there was a sign on the door that said closed for cleaning. So I was like, oh my gosh, we drove over here 20 minutes and I can't get in. So as we were standing there, a gal came out who was in like the main office area, and she was very nice. And my husband was like, hey, we just drove over. It was 20 minutes. Is there any way, like, when is this going to open up again? Or, can we take a look? Like, we won't be long. And she's like, yeah, I will let you in, just be real quick. So I went in and took a look at the different projects, and some things were different than I expected. And like I said earlier, every county is going to be totally different. And that's just fine. I guess my takeaway is I thought it would be a little bit more competitive, which is fine. But I guess, would you like to know the results? I ended up getting blue ribbons on everything I entered. So if you remember correctly, a blue ribbon did have a $2 prize attached to it. So I will be taking home $26 when the fair is over, and I paid $13 to enter my item. So, you know, 100% return on investment there. I hope you guys know that I'm, you know, like I'm being silly here. I don't know if you guys can tell, the humidity is out, and I feel like progressively through the day my hair's like gotten flatter and ickier all day. So it is what it is. This is the middle of summer in Iowa. So I do love it here, so I guess I have to put up with the humidity. So one of the great things about this year was that there were actually quite a few entries, and I will insert a little bit of footage of some of my projects here as we go, but there was a lot of people who had entered and some really good stuff. There was also a few things that I was like, these are okay. Pretty much everyone there had a blue ribbon. Like I said, not super competitive at all. There was 2 purple ribbons given out, and they were for projects that surprisingly were not super difficult. So in my research prior to this, I had um, seen that generally speaking, if you're entering a fair, you should do like more colorful yarns, do stitches that are more complex, like different stitches in a project, and that would make it more desirable to the judges. I'm kind of wondering if the judges at my fair actually, like if any of them actually crocheted or not. This is not like a case of sour grapes or anything like that. The 2 things that had gotten the purple ribbons, there was a tiny little pouch, and it seemed to be single crochets, and then there was like a few flaps that folded up, and then it cinched. And then the other purple ribbon was a granny square shrug. So I've made a couple of these. They are fun to make. Kayla from Alt Knots is currently going to be working on some Halloween ones, if you haven't seen that yet. But you just make a giant granny square, and then you sew up the edges of it, and then you know you can do some trim, and it's a fun project. It's pretty easy. It's, you know, just a granny stitch, a granny square, and this particular one was Christmas colors, and those were the 2 best in show. Like I said, they weren't bad projects at all. It just there was, like I said, some amigurumi. There was the thing that I think was the cutest. I will go ahead and insert that, but it was a apron for egg collecting, and if you've seen one of those before, you know, it's got the little pockets, but all these pockets were little chickens. So I thought it was absolutely adorable. I had to take a photo of that one because I loved it so much, and that was not mine at all. It was just my favorite in the show. So I was a little surprised at what won. I guess I also thought that there would be, like, as far as the categories went, because I think there were 17 different categories you could enter stuff in, like shawl, holiday item, uh, baby booties, Afghan, bedspread, tablecloth. There was, anyway, a number of them. I kind of thought that there would be like I thought it was like the Olympics, I guess, like first, second, third, and then of course like a best in show out of like all the crochets. But it did not appear to be that way, because I feel like pretty much everybody had a blue ribbon there, like every item. So, you know, I entered 2 scarves. Well, I think maybe there wasn't 2 scarves. We will go back and I will take a closer look later on in the week when we can actually take our time. But I don't know. Did they give a ribbon to every single person? I guess I just thought it would be like first, second, third, and none. So, on one hand, I am super relieved that there was more than just one lady and me participating in it. But yeah, I thought it would be more competitive, and it's fine. It's great. I mean, it's definitely fun to enter. I'm looking, like I said, I'm really looking forward to going back and checking out the projects in a little bit slower time and just really actually enjoying what people posted, not posted, what people entered. And so I'm looking forward to spending more time with that. And again, I think it would be super cool for even more people to enter. My absolute favorite part of the day was after we had initially dropped off all of my stuff at the fairgrounds, we went into the town and we were at the Quick Star. If you're in Iowa, it's a Quick Star, and it is like the best gas station ever. If you are in the rest of the Midwest, it is a Quick Trip. So we were at the Quick Star, and a lady, my husband had ran inside, and a lady knocked on the window of the truck, and she was like, hey, we were also dropping off our exhibits, and you were there, and I saw your ruffle scarf, and I absolutely loved the yarn. What yarn was that? And I was so excited. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it, but it is a ruffle scarf from Mama in a Stitch, and it was a Karen latte cake I got from Michael's. So I got to chat with this random lady for a few minutes about crochet and yarn, and we just talked a little bit about Hirschner's and just different stuff. So like it was just a really neat connection just to make with a fellow yarny like in the area. So that was my absolute favorite part of the day. Will I enter the fair next year? Yes. Yes, I will. Will I be as nervous next year as I was this year? Absolutely not. You know, will I stress so much about what projects I take? Probably not, but maybe. It was fun for me and it was a great experience. I would encourage you to do the same. If you live in an area, like I said, I am a prepping type of person, so I wouldn't have just showed up. Like last year, I went and did some reconnaissance and checked it out and saw what was entered, how many people entered, that type of stuff. So yeah, I would encourage you, if you're not up for it this year, go to your county fair and at least check it out so that you can maybe just do it next year. It's fun. I would recommend it. I don't know if you can hear, but there's a bird that's mad at me for being back here. I want to say thank you so much for following me along today and experiencing the county fair with me. It's like I said, it was my first year, and I appreciate you coming along with me. It was fun. I hope that you will join me next year. And what I will do is I will go ahead and link a video over here that I do think you would enjoy. And I will also be starting a playlist for like fair related stuff. So hopefully, if you're like me and you want to do a ton of research before entering anything, hopefully this can be a resource for you. In the meantime, thank you so much for being my yarny friend and following me along on this yarny day. Bye guys.